Here it is, the LG Ultragear. We're about to open this puppy up and see exactly how this can perform. I know a lot of you fanbase wanted to see something like this, especially when you're building a brand new PC, or if you have a console and you just want to game in 1440p, this may be the right monitor for you. We're gonna review it and unbox it to find out exactly that. But of course, we gotta open this up. So, gotta have my trusty red knife here. Open this box safely. Now this time, I don't have to worry about opening from the top. It just looks like a normal opening from what it seems. So, just be careful, of course, when you do open up these packages. So let's see what's inside of you. Alright, so when you first open this up, you're gonna get this. Looks like LG's Ultragear gaming monitor box here. Let's see what's inside this little box here. Looks like, of course, you need your power cord right here. I'm pretty sure this has a power supply too for this, a power brick. And it does. Pretty nice sized one here. So we got a power brick, we got the AC cord right here, and we do got a DisplayPort cable. Looks like it's probably about 5 to 6 feet. So we got a USB 3.0 to USB-A, and we do have the USB-A-B side to power up your USB in your monitors. And it looks like we have a HDMI cable. Looks to be about 5 feet, about. Not too bad. And it looks like it has this little cord here, where it looks like some sort of like tie for your wires here. I'm assuming to kind of keep your organization neat with your wires. In this very box, you do have a couple papers here just to inform you everything that is inside of your box here. You get the trusty quality assurance report right here. Wow, they got a CD in here without a case, because I guess they figured out that nobody uses CDs anymore. So we'll put all this back and see what else is inside of this box. I got my trusty sidekick here, Jonah, right on the side, and he's ready to see what is in it with me. Let's see what's upcoming next. Can't be too much more stuff. I'm assuming this is the stand here. You probably got to put it together yourself. And I can hear the screws for it. We'll assemble it together. Next, we gotta take off this top foam piece here. Yeah, we got its stand here. I could tell from here it's that VESA mount. And the feet I just put down on the ground, so that was the first thing I pulled out. We got the monitor. So I'm gonna put this down back first, and we'll assemble the stand together before we continue here. First thing, we got the, looks like 2 big Phillips screwdrivers here in the back of it. So we're gonna take this off. I'm sure we need this to assemble the stand together. So we gotta open this up, which is more than likely the base for the monitor here. So we'll open this up. So the contents, I know, are probably not as exciting as opening up an Asus monitor or any other gaming monitor. And that's because hopefully the quality speaks for itself. Feels pretty heavy duty. This side goes to the back of your monitor, and this is where your feet are gonna go. So we're gonna simply put this together just like this, flip it upside down here, and as you can see there, that's where you just have to simply screw these on. Kind of get this started. Make sure you got your trusty screwdriver here to help you finish up the job. And I want to tighten it too tight. No need to over torque it. So that's simple. All we have to do is put on the monitor base here. It looks like it may clip in, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. I got the box flipped out on the side so I could show you exactly how we could put this together. Usually with VESA mounts, you gotta hook it up by screws or bolts to the mount. But with this mount, it's very simple. You see these up here, these clips? All you have to do is simply slide it on. All we have to do is lift it up here. And there we have it. Now let's take a look at LG's new Ultragear for 2021 here. So we got the back of the panel here. We got the USB-B port right here to power up these USB 3.0 ports right here. We have HDMI 2.0. They do not have HDMI 2.1 just yet. And hopefully PS5 or Xbox Series X. Xbox Series X is nothing to worry about, but PS5, hopefully it can downscale to 1440p, but we will test it out and find out if it can. It also has the display port right here. It's covered up with this tab here. That's not HDMI, that's actually a service port. Surprise. They do have a headphone jack on this monitor, but they do not have any type of audio output or any type of speakers on this very monitor. It's strictly about its display power. So you do have DisplayPort. I believe it is version 1.4. More than likely it is, especially that it is a 2021 model. And that is everything in the bag. And of course they do have that quick release if you choose to end up wall mounting this monitor instead of using this on your desk. But of course you do have that option. It's very easy to unmount, just as I showed you, fam. And the design's not too bad. It's very interesting. I like this hook. And the reason why they have this groove here is so you can use that for your cable management. So here is the front panel of this LG display. It's a very gorgeous looking panel here. It has practically no borders, so you get that full 30-inch display. It does make the screen feel a lot bigger when it doesn't have those nasty bezels around it. Also, take a look at how this design is with the bottom end. It's a little bit shiny here. I don't really like shiny looks as much. I always prefer more of a matte finish, but I don't really mind it because it's so small, it's hardly noticeable. Let me show you the tilt function this does offer here. About 20 degrees up and 20 degrees down here. It does go straight, and a very nice smooth down and up feature here. So let's hook up this monitor and see what type of performance we can get out of it. So fam, I got the new LG monitor hooked up to my PC right now, and we're gonna test out to see exactly how fast it can wake up from wake up mode here. So we'll start it up. I just pressed the key, PC's turning on, and pretty quick. As you notice right away, the color is really vibrant, accurate, and the contrast isn't as strong, of course, on IPS monitors compared to VA monitors, but it has a very accurate color showing. This monitor is also HDR 600, so it is a HDR 10 monitor. So, well, let's go a little bit deeper on this so you can take a look on how this monitor exactly performs here. So let's log in here. I love the curvature on the monitor. It is a 1800R and not a 1000R, to get that straight. So it is a 1800R. So what that means is it is a little bit less curvature. So let me show you here. I want to show you the text on the clarity of this monitor. So you can take a look at the clarity of the text right here. It is really nice and clear. I'll show you an example here. If I just go into a website here, and it is nice, crisp, and very, very easy on the eyes. So this is also really great if you need it for any specific type of work or any type of text contents. And this would be a great monitor for developers. I love the color. I love how crisp, sharp, and beautiful and accurate this monitor really is. As you see here, the wording is nice, crisp, and gorgeous. So FanBam, as you saw, the text clarity is really amazing on it. Hey Chris Mizo, exactly how well is the HDR built in? I know the prior models weren't all that great. You can adjust the HDR, and we'll get a little bit deeper in that. But before we do, I will run some color tests with you, FanBam, to show you exactly how the colors look on this monitor. Of course, the contrast ratio is better than the prior model. Compared to 700:1, this is 1000:1. This monitor does feature that new technology, which is nano IPS display, and you can notice it. It looks very clear, crisp when you're looking into the picture. It does feature a very wide color gamut, so you don't have to worry about any color calibration or anything with this monitor. This monitor also features DCI-P3. It does have a pixel pitch of 1.07 billion. Without further ado, let me get into color testing with you, FanBam, so you can get an idea of exactly how this IPS looks. I'm sure you guys are curious to see how the blacks look, how the whites look, and see how much of a improvement this monitor really is to its predecessor. Currently, we do have HDR set on. Right now we're in this monitor test, and I'll go through it real quick and very briefly. So its IPS color gamut is up to DCI-P3 up to 98%. So we're going to begin testing here. So we'll start the test and we are set. So as you can see how accurate the circle is. It's pretty complete. Look how bright the colors, how much they stand out. Now with the HDR, I know the blue kind of looks like slightly purplish. The reds look really good. The green looks really good. But the blues seem a little bit on the darker side. Now the cyan, magenta, and the yellow seems to be a little bit darker here. But you can get a good idea of the image quality and how crisp and beautiful this monitor really is. So we go to the next screen here, and we can look for defective pixels on this monitor. As you can see, you have very little light bleed on this monitor, especially that is IPS, and IPS is very infamous for this because of its lighting behind this panel. So on this monitor, it looks great. Now the pixels on white here, we don't see any defective pixels, so that's a good sign. And the reds look amazing here. It has that very vibrant look to it. And take a look at that green here. Looking good so far. And as you can see, the blue's kind of like a little bit darker. It's kind of a hint of a little bit more purple. And the uniformity on this monitor is so close to the point. It is very equal across the screen here. And take a look at the color distances. We'll adjust this a little bit to 129. Well, I got 129, 128, 128. And it looks like the rectangle is actually blending in. So let's go a couple pixels back here. You could start to see it start to reveal itself 5 pixels less, at least. So the color distances look really good. And because of how close they are together, it blends super well on the screen, as you can see. And there is little to no fault. Now you got the gradients here. It is at 256 steps, and it looks really good. Whether you switch it over to cyan, magenta, and it looks like it blends well. So let's go to the next screen, and the text clarity. I know this is super important, especially for anybody that uses a lot of text on PCs. The viewing angle's at 178 degrees on both sides on this monitor, so that definitely helps. And it looks like the gamma is set at 1.5. The closest gamma, I believe, is 1, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, 1.3 is the best level to set your gamma on. And the response time, You can see a little bit green, a little tiny bit of ghosting, but not too serious. Let's speed this up. Ghosting's not that bad. It's a really fast monitor here. You don't get any type of slow pixelation here. Let's get into the setup here, and I'll show you everything that this monitor features. There's a little knob here. You hit that button, and as you can see, it's a little box. Very easy to control because it has a little joystick on there. So you just double click to get into the menu. And because HDR is on, you cannot go into game mode, or you cannot adjust. Except the overclock. I do have overclock on, and this monitor can go up to 180 Hertz. It does have a response time as faster. Crosshairs are off. It does have those features in it, and picture adjustment. You cannot adjust your picture, you cannot adjust your nits or anything for your HDR on this monitor. So let's go to input here. It does have your input list, and there's simply just two controls here for your inputs, which is HDMI and DisplayPort. So let's get to the next part here. Aspect ratio is full wide, and you got auto input switch on, and then you do got your general language, and of course your user defined keys for your custom key sets for whichever you would prefer. You got power LED on, and you do have lighting options. Now to get to the RGBs in the back of your PC, you can easily control it by, there is a wheel underneath of it. You actually click into the wheel, and then you can select the RGB of your choice, whether it's dynamic, peaceful, or static. And then you just click it and you adjust the brightness with this color wheel, as you can see here. So let's get straight to it and see exactly how it performs game wise here. So let's get into multiplayer here, and we'll give it a test run so you can get idea of how this HDR looks in game. All right, so I'll hit out my Discord right here, and you can notice immediately how crazy this HDR is looking. You can see how the text starts to go out of whack a little bit. The colors are a little bit way oversaturated. But going into game here, I'll show you exactly how it looks. In some areas about this HDR, so it's looking a bit on the, doesn't look like it's improved a crazy lot. Still looks a bit saturated in areas where it shouldn't be. And as you can see, it's a little bit, the darker spots are super dark, and then the whiter spots are overly too white here. So that is one negative thing I do gotta say about this monitor. As you can see here, the textures look a little bit out of whack. It looks a bit fuzzy. It's not as sharp anymore once HDR mode comes on. So the sRGB is a bit more accurate compared to the HDR. Or I should say the SDR is a bit more accurate than the HDR here. But the monitor is really quick. It does run at an amazing 180 Hertz. So you do get some decent speed here. You get very nice movement, very smooth movement. You can definitely capture a lot of movement before your opposing enemies on this monitor. I know a lot of you are going to be interested to see how a console performs on an ultrawide such as this one. But so far I'm not super impressed with it. When it comes to that, I'm sure it plays much better when it is not in HDR mode. I did calibrate the HDR to Cold War to try to get it a little bit more closer to realistic looking colors here. So we're gonna test out PlayStation 5 next to see exactly how it performs with this monitor. As we can expect, this monitor is HDMI 2.0 and not HDMI 2.1, so it may not downscale to 4K. So let's find out exactly what would happen if we hook up PlayStation 5 to LG's GP950. So as you can see, it does fill in to its full display on this monitor here, but it is a bit stretched out. It looks like it is 1080p upscaled instead of 4K downscaled. And let's take a look at the settings just to make sure it's exactly what I think it is. And it looks like it's set to automatic, and 2160p, which is 4K, is not supported. Fortunately. So what that means is you can only upscale from 1080p to PlayStation 5. I'll show you exactly how that'll look, and I'll show you that HDR is on, so we can actually continue this way. We can actually continue just like this. Now it's gonna look a little bit weird because everything looks a little bit over wide here. If you switch it over to full screen here, you get to see how much better that looks, and you simply just go into LG's GP950's monitor here in order to change that. Now the HDR doesn't look too bad in 1080p, but again, some parts look a little bit saturated for the color in my opinion, even though it looks nice and fully colored. But it does have a weirder type of outline to it, almost like you got some chromatic aberrations here. But is this the right monitor that you're looking for? So we saw exactly how this monitor performs in color, we saw the HDR, we saw how it looks in gaming mode, and we see how the text documents exactly look with a monitor just like this. Now, the very pro things I do have to say about this monitor, it has a beautiful range of color. It is an IPS monitor, so you have that beautiful, reliable color that you're looking for. What I gotta say about the text, it's very crisp, smooth, very easy to read with everybody out there that does use their PC for other than gaming use. It is great for a everyday PC user because it doesn't really put too much eye strain. I do like the Nano LED IPS monitor as it is very nice and clear and it looks. Now the negative things I do gotta say is I don't like how it does not have speakers. It could have a much more cleaner look of a PC if you could just have some external speakers, even if it's just 5 watts. Another thing I also don't like is that it only provides you one HDMI port and one display port, especially for how pricey this very monitor is. The thing I do not like the most is the HDR. If LG advertises HDR, it has to mean HDR. LG does not impress me with GP's 950's HDR. It just doesn't do it for me, in my personal opinion. The price for this monitor is about $1,299. It is very impressive in every other sense. And if you're interested in taking a look at this monitor, make sure you check down in the description box down below. If I were to give it a rating, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I do really like how crisp the color is. I really love how the text looks on it. And it really is great for everyday PC usage. I wouldn't recommend it to use this for HDR gaming because I don't think it's just quite there yet. This would actually work really great for film editing and doing photo editing as well, just because of the range of colors it does provide you. The oversaturation is only seen especially in HDR mode. The only thing I really just don't like about this monitor here, it's improved, but it's just not quite there. LG really has to step up to the plate because this is kind of a pathetic attempt, in my opinion, to call this HDR, but the refresh rates are amazing. If you're going to use it for sRGB, that would be great. DCI IP3 at 98% really shows those colors. If you know anybody that is interested in looking at an ultra-wide, a really good one, this is something I could recommend, but if they're solely looking for a HDR gaming monitor, please don't recommend this monitor here. I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and please share it to anyone that is looking for a ultra wide. And also, if you're not part of the Big Wonderful Fan Band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And for all the newest updates, make sure you follow my Twitter handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. Hey Fan Band, guys, what do you think of LG's new ultra wide monitor here? Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.